All right, welcome back, everybody, to another CBSI Star Wars comic show. We got an interesting topic today. We're doing our favorite sleeper picks, those under the radar. Well, everybody's looking here. You should be looking over here picks. And I got Mike with me and Ben C down below with us. And we each got a book that we think you guys should be paying attention to that I don't think a lot of people are. So just hang on for a second. We'll be right back with the books. All right, so we're going to start in with my book. And I know I've talked about this book a few times already before, but it is still cheap, and I still think you should be buying this book. I just don't know why it's not doing better than it actually is. And this is Tales of the Jedi, The Sith War 1, which is the first Mandalore the Indomitable, which is arguably the start of this Mandalorian culture in a way. Like this guy with the mask and the helmets that they wear, it kind of grows out of this character's being. And I just don't know why this isn't more than a $10 book. This is like $8-10 you can still get this thing for, like online. It's still super cheap. And it's just like any other Dark Horse book. It's not that easy to find, but there's copies out there that can be had for just a few bucks. And I still think you should be holding on to these, because with Bo-Katan now hooked up with Mando in the show, they have to get back into the culture. They're going to have to start talking about, the history of the Mandalorian race, because he doesn't know the right. I don't want to say the right. He only knows what he learned from the armor. Like, he doesn't know everything. So I think they're really going to broaden everything out with the next season of Mandalorian. And I have to see them mentioning at least Mandalore the Indomitable in some way. And maybe flashback, maybe a montage. I don't know. That's just what I'm foreseeing with this.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And Filoni is notorious for going back into the lore and really telling backstory and exposition. And I think you're absolutely right. This book, we've all been talking about this book and the other one. Was it number 6, The Mandalore, the Ultimate book?
That's right.
For 2-3 years now, in preparation for it to get mentioned in the show. And you're right, it has to. And now with the Boba Fett spinoff show too on top of it, I just don't see how they're both not talked about at some point. They have to be.
I think not only, I think, so this Ultimate, you don't see this version of Ultimate until Coder 12. And I know I'm dropping this in out of nowhere and we did not prepare a slide or anything, but okay. Coder 12 is going to end up being the sleeper pick of the sleeper picks, because first you do need to get that 1 in the 6, but then it's going to immediately go to 12, and then 15 is the first cover.
Yes.
Like Peter said, these books are out there. They're out there. You know what else is out there?
You'll kick yourself down the line when you don't have them.
What else is out there?
I was gonna try to work some sneaky way into Mike's.
Oh, some magic. What else is out there is my book.
Mike's. No, I was gonna say Mike has everything in long boxes in his.
We got to go overseas for Mike. Like we can't even talk about the books over here.
Right. I'm pulling a Topher. I'm pulling a Topher today. Yeah. But look, I believe that this is a book worth talking about. I mean, there's a litany of information about what Boba appearance comes first. The argument is that the little digest novel that has purple Yoda in it is the first one, which is May. The super special or special edition, no, super special 16, I guess it is the next one, which has a spring 1980 date, although it has an August 1980 colophon. So I don't know. There's also the Treasury version of that as well, which has no month, so no one's really sure when that comes out. There's a lot of speculation about when it came out, but it's definitely later. There's also the newspaper strips, which he first appears in June 19th, 1980, which is really, really effing rare, by the way, everybody. Good luck finding those. If you're not in my long boxes, good luck finding them anywhere else. But the book that, of course, everyone's paying big money for is Star Wars 42. But alert, that is not the first floppy appearance of Boba Fett. The first floppy appearance of Boba Fett is Marvel Empire Strikes Back UK Weekly number 127, which predates the other by many months. Predates Star Wars 42 by many months. It came out July 31st, 1980, whereas the indicia on Star Wars 42 is December of 1980, although if we use the current Marvel month thing, it's 3 months behind that, but even still, that's later than July 31st. So this is before it. Also, don't sleep on 2 issues later, which is, I don't know if you want to put up my thing, but 2 issues later, number 129 is the first cover, which also predates Star Wars.
Yeah, and that one's already a little pricey.
Yeah, and it's because it's on the cover, but this cover is actually the splash page of 127. So if you open this up, the splash page is that same cover, but only in black and white. So which I could pull out and show you, but I mean, I think you get the idea. Right. I think you get the idea there. But I mean, this book is still, it's hard to find, but when you do find it, you can still get copies of this thing for 20, 30, 40 bucks. Of course, you're going to pay shipping from the UK, which is always a pain, and they don't ship great, generally speaking. And I'm sorry, my UK brothers, but you need to learn how to ship comics. But in not the stores over there, but just the eBayers, they always come in these floppy envelopes with no protection every time I get something from there. But either way, these are tough, and they're thin and they're fragile. Finding them in good shape is hard, but there's people who do know what this book is, trying to sell it for many hundreds, but it's still nowhere near what the Star Wars 42 is. And yet you can still find. I think there's a copy right now on eBay for $70 or best offer, and then there's 2 other copies, one for $1,500 and one for $3,500. So I mean, there are some people who know what it is, and there are other people who have no idea. So that's why I'm calling this a sleeper. Is that there's still copies out there cheap, and you should really be diligent. They're not just there's not going to be 100 copies when you go searching for it, but they're there and they're cheaper.
And this is what made me think of the rope-a-dope that I was talking about earlier, because even with Star Wars 42, even with the UK weeklies, everybody's buying 129 because he's on the cover. Everybody wants 129. So those are pricey, but 127, he's in there. Not only that, Yoda's on the cover here, and you don't get a lot of Yoda covers. He's very tiny in the background, but Yoda first cover appearance here.
And actually, Boba Fett appears in an advertisement like 3 issues before this, believe it or not, but he's not in the story in any way. He's like in some, I don't even know what it is. But it is in there. So, your mileage may vary. I don't know what you want, but if you're looking for actual floppy comic book appearance of Boba Fett, this is the first one. This is the first one. And it's not even close. It's half a year.
Are you counting floppies?
I'm just saying it that way because there's so many other ways to buy the first or early appearances of Boba Fett. When you're talking about a novel, a hardback UK version of the Super Special, the Super Special 16, the Treasury, the Flaccid version, the newspaper reprints. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to get
What about
Boba,
the parade? What about the parade coverage where you got him with Vader walking down the street?
There's that too. Yeah, there's the black and white photos from the parade. That's true. So I mean, if you're a Boba completist, then there's a lot to go for. But if you're just talking about a comic book, this predates number 42 by a half a year, or at least a quarter of a year, if not a half a year. It's crazy.
Yeah,
I dig this book because there's that. I don't know if it's earlier, later. It's got to be earlier, right? The first appearance of Palpatine.
Mm-hmm.
Is in one of these as well. I think it's like 122, maybe.
That sounds right, or maybe 123. I forget. It's one of those.
I'm absolutely shooting from the hip, and I got numbers in my head. But I mean, I think Mike's spot on with this pick. How long did it take 180 to go? Hey, now I'm worth a lot of money too because people are priced out at 181.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Boba Fett, Wolverine. I would argue they are in that same desirable, wide open collector area as well as true hardcore fans. The only other one I put with Boba would be maybe Punisher. As far as fan bases go. So I can see people getting priced out of 42, 68, and the issue after this, or a couple issues after this.
Yeah.
In the market finally going, oh, wait a minute, it's not even a cameo. It's just literally he's not on the cover. It's just his first appearance. And this book is going to go bonkers.
when there's you bring up a good point about Wolverine too, is look at the UK weekly first appearance of Wolverine. That book is a $600 or $700 book. It's this same thing. It's this same floppy little, and I'm saying floppy now, the adjective.
These are very, very thin. These are very thin.
But that book, I forget what the heck that's called. I can look that up while we're talking about the next book. But that book is, people know what that book is, and that's a legitimate. Say again?
You talking about Foom?
No, not Foom, not that thing. No, I'm talking about the UK.
Sure, I'm like,
I'm looking it up now, but it's the same. It's the exact same kind of book, and I don't understand why this one won't follow suit for the same reasons. And
I still think you should have went with your other pick, though, Mike. I don't know.
Oh, my other pick. Okay, yeah. My other pick. Not to put the kibosh on Ben's pick here before he even gets to do it, but Nomi Sunrider, baby. I'm telling you what, we will break the world if this character ends up in something. This book is still a dollar bin book. I love this book. If you were collecting Star Wars comics when they first came out, like I was, I think I'm the only one that has long box from childhood still. This book, people wanted this book. It was really rare. This was the only expensive Dark Horse book back in the day, other than maybe the first print of Dark Empire #1. Back when we were collecting in the 90s, this was the one everyone wanted. And Thrawn. But even Thrawn, you could still find Thrawn for $20. But yeah, back in the day, you're right. But this book, man, it was hard to find. Shops didn't get them. They didn't care. And man, I would love to see this character pop up in something and just turn this book from a $1 book to a $1,000 book overnight. I would love it.
That was one of the more gross exaggerations of price hikes we've talked about, but
yeah, who knows? Anything's possible in this market.
I believe this is a $50 to $100 book when we see her. Come on. Yeah. Didn't we just get Filoni news too? Didn't he just get like bumped?
Yeah,
he's higher now.
Yeah, he's creative director now.
Yeah, like, oh man, Star Wars comics are just, everyone thinks we're at full throttle. We're in like 2014, 2013 regular comic market when everyone hit 2015 and we thought like we can't possibly go any higher. Man, I kept saying it. Now here we are. But for my pick, I went way outside the box. I believe this is an easy $200 book, $250 book. This is arguably as important as #1. I know everyone loves Darth Bane. Mm-hmm. This is the first appearance of Darth Xana, and I know it's Rey as a kid, and I know she's not called Darth anything, and it does not matter. In the beginning, she's a kid, and shit's cool, and everything's fine, and by the end of the issue, and spoiler alert for those who haven't read a book from like a decade ago yet, too bad, she goes dark. I won't spoil the book. I'll just say that she 100% unquestionably goes to the dark side. That is the first appearance of Darth Xana. Darth Bane's coming. It's not even a kind of an if. It is a hard when, and it's probably sooner than later. And with news like Filoni's now in charge, like, I'm just trying to figure out who, like, if we're just getting a Sith show, like, all together, like, oh, Morello.
I know. We will all go absolutely nuts if that happens. I know. And so will the market go absolutely nuts if that happens. So, yeah. I mean, because all these books that everyone's been ignoring will all of a sudden take over from the books that we've all been buying.
Yep, rope-a-dope, baby.
So, yeah, it's the rope-a-dope. Here comes back to the rope-a-dope. That's right. I mean, you're right. I think it's an important one. I really do. I think all of these books, any of the Sith, to be honest, any of these things are all potentially big possibilities. Yeah. I think just buy full runs, stop picking and choosing, go buy everything and worry about it later. Yep.
I agree. And what you shouldn't worry about doing later is hitting that subscribe button, making sure you like this video. Get over to comicbookinvest.com. Check out the bonus book we're going to have, and we'll see you next week. Right, guys? Anything before we go?
Nope, that's it. Thanks for watching,
We already gave
everybody.
you a couple of bonuses in this one.
Yeah, we did.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Later.
Yeah.